Braylon Edwards and, of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
And, of course, Maz is correct because my boy Tom Mazaway is with us today. Ermanni Edwards with Maz, thank God. And Anson Wells decided to join the desk as well. So excited to talk to him. There's a lot of moves in the NBA, which is your field of specialties, your field of expertise. Can't wait to get your ideas and your thoughts on those trades. First, we welcome in KG in the audio booth. What's up, KG?
What up? Feeling good, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling real good. You got good energy today, man.
Yeah,
What's
I'm
good,
trying,
your way?
man. You know you can't keep a good brother down for too long.
This is damn sure. How's your family? Everybody doing good?
Good. Yeah, mom's doing good, doing better. So yeah,
for sure, man. I'm glad to hear that. Peace, Spivak. How you feeling over there in
Yes,
TD
sir.
booth,
Doing well, man. Busy day at work today, guys. Doing some work for Woodward, and then now we got the show, and I'm ready to go. How are you doing today?
I can't complain. I'm doing very, very, very good. I'm wearing one of my favorite colors, at least according to Anson, on that with this green and white combo. It's for the Jets, I promise you. But I'm also good because Tom Mazaway, who was out yesterday, is back in the Maz chair. Maz, how you feeling, man?
I'm good. I hated missing yesterday.
Big
news day.
Big news.
We get a chance to run it back.
It was so great, man.
Yeah.
The Pistons were winning. The Red Wings are hot. The Tigers are making deals. The Luka trade, which I still can't wrap my head around. It's like a sporgy yesterday. And we're gonna bring some back today because my man Anson's here, and he didn't get a chance to talk about it. I didn't get a chance to talk about it. We got Ricky here watching over KG's shoulder, so. I'm looking forward to the show. Let's get it going. Let's get it on, as Mills Lane used to say.
Shout out to Ricky Day 2. Appreciate you having you in as well. We'll see more of him at 2:30. But you're absolutely right. I didn't think about it like that. Yesterday, KG, myself, Ricky, Pete, we had a chance to talk about the weekend and what was a crazy weekend for sure, but neither one of you got a chance to talk about. Before we do, though, I got a chance to see these Pistons this year. I got a chance to see him. As I talked about it yesterday. Went to the Pistons game, saw him against the Dallas Mavericks, and it was definitely a different Pistons experience than the last couple of years. Last year I went to about 4 or 5 games, and it was what it was last year. We know what that was, but it looks different. The energy is different. People were in their seats. People showed up. They showed out. Cade is a leader on and off the court, and you just see him vibing, like on the sidelines. You see him in the huddle. They're very paid in. They're paying much attention to what J.B. Bickerstaff is saying, what the rest of his staff is saying. You know, it was energy in there. Mason kind of sounds like Mason, if you will, nowadays. Jalen Rose, Sada Baby, shout out to those, my brothers. But the energy was good, and never at one point did I think the Pistons were going to lose the league or do some Piston-ish type behavior. Pistons ran through and they got the win. But last night, it's a different story, but this happens, and that's where I want to go with you. Trey is one of the best players in the NBA, one of the best point guards, at least as it relates to scoring. We know that he gets hot, and last night, Anson, Trey was cooking, man. The Pistons lose 132-130.
Yeah, not just Trey was hot, but that entire Hawks offense couldn't miss a shot in the first half.
It's a lot of points. You're absolutely right.
And what we've seen out of the Pistons is just no quit. Doesn't matter if they're down by double digits, they're still in games. The unfortunate part is that they can get up and let teams get back into it. I will tell everybody that's watching right now, go get your tickets for March and April. I was just looking at some seats, and they are still cheap. They will not be cheap.
Family four-pack for $80 still.
Yeah. Come March, come April, when this team is squarely in the playoffs, maybe even a 6th seed, not having to worry about a play-in game, they will be the talk of this town. You got a chance, as you said, over the last weekend and the last few days to be able to actually see this team is playing like the great Piston teams you've come to know and love in this city.
Yeah, and I think some of that, being honest, was a look ahead. Like, we know who they play tomorrow. We know who they play tomorrow. They play the number 1 team in the East, and that is the Cleveland Cavaliers. J.B. Bickerstaff, that's his former team. So this is going to be a big game. Sometimes it happens, and like you said, that team was just cooking with grease. Quick question. Pistons, they have 2 days, trade deadline, to make a move, and I know we got other stuff to talk about, Maz, but since we're here, what do you do if you're the Pistons right now?
Well, I think what they're going to be doing is very different from what they imagined themselves doing back when the season began. Yeah. I don't think they intended to, but they didn't expect to win as many games as they have at this point.
They passed their total. Was it last night?
The over with that 24, they got their 25th win. Yeah. Now you're looking at a guy like Malik Beasley that you bring in and think that you're going to trade this guy at the trade deadline and get a nice piece off of his 1-year deal. But now Beasley's the best 3-shooter in the league, and he's a big part of this team, not just from what he brings offensively, but as a leader, as a veteran. And he stated his intentions and desire to stay here. So that's a piece that, if we're talking about this in October, November, this is a guy that we would expect to see gone come February. That's not going to happen. Tobias Harris, another guy that you might have seen maybe being moved. This is a big piece, and maybe he's not playing as well as people had hoped he would come in and putting up double-doubles and things like that. But when you need a back-to-the-basket bucket, when you need a steadying influence, he is on the floor. At this point right now, you start looking at the holes that this team has. They don't have a big man that can stretch the defense, that can't hit threes. Nobody's out there doing that. In fact, their biggest player that actually gets minutes is only 6'10". Shout out Jalen Duren. He's been playing his ass off all of the last month. But when you look at, an extra ball handler, we could use a couple of pieces. And I think that we are in a perfect position with our salary cap and our team makeup that we can be a facilitator in these trades, a third team in these big deals that allow us to bring in additional capital and maybe that one extra player that we need
like Utah
to maybe win a first-round playoff matchup.
It's kind of how Utah was with the trade that we'll talk about. They just randomly, you want to give us that? Sure, we'll take that. Tom Mazaway. What's up?
I was there on Sunday against the Bulls, and I had a great time. And
hold on. Can I tell you how Maz hits me on Saturday?
Oh yeah, please.
Maz hits me on Saturday. Hey Bray, you know anybody? I need 4 for the game on Sunday. Of course, boop, 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 boop. Hit my guy up.
He didn't come see you though, did he?
Who?
Maz.
Hold on.
No. You got your story. It's
Here's
Sunday night, by the way. Like it's Sunday night. You know somebody. All right, cool. Boom, boom. I hit up my guy. These tickets now for Pistons game, they're serious. People now want to go to games. So he was like, hey, can't do 4. I can give you 2. I relayed the message back to Maz. I said, hey, Maz, I can get you 2. Nah, Bray, I need 4. I got my daughters, my wife. I need 4.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to leave my kids home.
So I'm going back. I get it, but they're grown. They're adults. You could
I was going to the game for them.
Oh, well, you could have gave them the tickets. So here we go. And so exactly, for them. So I go back. I say, Maz, you can't do it. He said, oh, come on, Bray. So I go back. Is there any way that you have 4? Look, he really wants to go. Now I'm giving him the little violin, if you will. He said, Bray, just tell him take the 2. Maz didn't want the 2.
Of course.
Fast forward to Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Hey, Bray, can I still get the 2? So now I hit George up. I said, George, and by the way, I did hit George up all these times. I said, hey, George, look.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
I was like, you know what I'm saying? Is it still he get the 2? Brother, what do you want me to do? They're gone. Like, all the 2's gone. So then I felt bad.
From now on, I'm taking 2.
So this is what he told me on the phone. We talked. He said, always take the 2.
Yeah.
It is much easier to say, you know what, I don't need the 2 than 2. Do you still have the 2?
2 in the hand is worth 4 in the bush, man.
So from now on, I always have you. Just take what I give
Thanks,
you.
man. So I wound up buying 4. Anyway, it was Kids Day, and it was just a great vibe in the whole place again. And that was great because I can go to all the games. It's great. But when you take your family and you see they're having fun, it makes it that much better. And what did I write you guys as the game was going on? I'm like, man, this Ron Hollins, he's all right. I like this kid.
Scrappy.
I like this
Scrappy
kid. He's a kid.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think he's got a lot of potential. And I was a Dalton Connect guy. I like Dalton Connect. And I wish they still drafted him and maybe took Holland in the second round, but he probably wouldn't have lasted.
He was not.
Maybe he would have.
I see a lot of first-year Jaden Ivey in Ron, and the game hasn't slowed down for this kid yet. Those are 2 guys that made their living on speed. Yeah. At this point, it's starting to slow down for him a little bit. Now, offensively, that's where he really needs it to, because the guy can get to the hole. He hasn't been able to finish, but he's starting to get to the line a little bit. Obviously, he needs to improve his 3 ball.
Yeah, it's getting there.
But what I'm seeing out of him defensively is just all effort. And he plays kind of angry defense, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
The whole team plays like that.
Yep.
And I'll tell you this, man. Wait till they get Jaden Ivey back. They're playing without Jaden Ivey.
It's funny. I ran into his dad at the gym yesterday.
Shout out.
Shout out to Jalen. I ran into his pops in the gym. Or Javen, excuse me, who I've known for a while.
They might beat the Cavs tomorrow night. They can play with every team in the league.
They might beat the Cavs. When I was at the game, I saw a superstar. I saw a big man, like you said, that couldn't come out. I saw grit out of the whole team. I saw a team that wanted to play defense. I saw a team that wanted to do the things that they could. And I saw a guy in Malik Beasley that was going to hit the shot. Tobias, hot early, got cold. Kind of what Tobias has done the last 3 years of his career. He'll mess around, have 17 in the first half, and he'll finish the game with 18. That's just how he's been over the last 3 years. It looks like a young going-to-work Pistons. Mm-hmm. Now, when the Pistons came here, the going-to-work Pistons, they already were established. Rasheed had been in the league some years. Rip, Chauncey, and the list goes on. But this is what it looks like if they were young. They're figuring it out on the fly, man. They get a couple more shooters, guys that get those guaranteed points, or guys grow into those roles. I'm excited for what the Pistons can do. Don't do too much in the next 2 days, though. Like, if it's not there, it's not there.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to. It does feel absolutely like the 2002 Pistons. We even got John Barry in the form of Malik Beasley, fiery leader, a little bit of defense. Yeah. Not great defense, but he tries, but he hits those shots. There's a lot of parallels there. People talking about trading Duran, trading Beef Stew. Yeah. These guys are crucial to this team. You don't trade a 21-year-old guy that puts up double-doubles the way that Duran does. That kid can hit free throws. And if you can hit free throws, you can become an outside shooter. Beef Stew, that's the enforcer, man. I absolutely love seeing him out there. There's so many parallels between this 2002 team that we're seeing in this team this year.
I love seeing Beef Stew off the bench.
Who's that?
Yeah.
I love seeing Beef Stew off the bench. I love the fact that they don't have Beef Stew shooting threes anymore.
He doesn't shoot them at all anymore.
100%. Like, when that started to happen, I started not to like Beef Stew. And maybe it's not Beef Stew's fault. Maybe they pushed him in that direction. But when that happened, I was like, all right, I don't like the guy. It's not going. Right. Now, it's a different role. It's all about the role that you play, and I like this role for Beef Stew, man.
I'm going to throw this out at you guys. This is going to be a topic for you. Even before we talk about the Luka deal.
Oh, thanks for spoiling me.
Do you think the NBA, this is my opinion, I think the NBA had something to do with that trade.
I don't know.
And I'm going to tell you this. This has been the worst year for the NBA as far as people watching their game. And what happened? In the middle of Saturday night. In the middle of a Saturday night, they shocked the world. During Super Bowl week, they shocked the world and dropped this trade. And now you see other trades happening. You saw the trade with the Spurs. Now you're seeing the trade with the Sixers and the Mavs again. You hear about Kevin Durant going to get moved. You hear about maybe LeBron's going to go to the Warriors. Maybe LeBron's going to go somewhere else. Do you think the NBA hit it right now? They got people. Look, we're leading our shows with the NBA now. We weren't before. They were at 3:55 before we got off the air. Now we're leading our shows. People are talking about this. I believe there's going to be another blockbuster deal done. I believe Kevin Durant's going somewhere.
You think they only doing this for 2 weeks of press?
What's wrong with Kevin Durant coming here?
Oh, come on, man.
Wasn't he always very complimentary of this team and of Cade Cunningham and stuff like that? But I don't know a thing about this. I'm just saying there's another blockbuster deal that's going to drop here in the next day and a half.
Yeah, I don't know.
I had a smooth setup how I was gonna get to the whole trade deal and everything. Maz ruined it all. I'm messing with you.
In Maz fashion, but no, I mean the NBA is known for having trade deadlines like this. Now we normally don't see deals of this caliber. I will give you that, but the NBA trade deadline is normally where you get some shot trades. Some trades that you didn't necessarily expect to happen. This is one of the bigger ones in quite a while. But I think for the Mavs, they did not trust Luka in paying them that supermax, and I think that's what it comes down to. When you see how he acted in the finals last year, when you hear things about his conditioning being in question this year, and the injury that he's dealing with, is he really taking it serious? When you look at the fact that you have Kyrie Irving, who they brought in and they realize, okay, this guy is still playing at a high level at his age, and he's also a leader for this team, so maybe we want to maximize his years. I think that's just what it came down to, and they had a few teams that they could have called in order to get a top 5 player back because they still wanted to win now, and the Lakers just happened to be that team.
Look, it was funny because Adam Silver was at the game Friday night.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, adding fuel to the
So
fire.
there was a lot of speculation that he
How
was
about
there
that?
talking to GM and the owner for the Dallas Mavericks about the whole situation. Can we do this? A lot of speculation. I found that it was very ironic that he was there and then the deal gets done that night.
And
But
Luka was benched that night.
with that being said, you saw this happen almost before. You saw this happen in the offseason.
Yeah.
You saw this happen with Minnesota and New York.
You know who was involved that's very important to me? Danny Ainge. Do you remember the Kevin Durant trade?
Yeah.
A lot of places that could have paid more. But the league had no interest in watching the kid go to the Bullets or to the Clippers. They manufactured a trade that won a championship for one of the most storied franchises in the NBA, the Celtics. You look at the Rasheed Wallace trade. Danny Ainge again, #1 pick, comes to Boston. Big part of where they are now. All right. Now you look at this trade, and he's at the forefront again, right in the middle of this trade. Listen, I like this trade for Dallas in the short term because I think that they are now top 3 defensive teams in the NBA. And if you watch their problems in the finals last year, it was the Matador out in front trying to pretend like he was playing defense in Luka. You look at 9 stat category rankings, the last 3 years, Anthony Davis has placed higher than Luka Doncic. Luka is a one-trick pony. Now, he's got a lot of tricks in that one pony, but when it comes to defense, that's what wins championships, and this guy has no interest in playing defense. Could they have gotten more? Certainly. When you look around at the Rudy Gobert trades and the massive, I mean, just look at the De'Aaron Fox trade. Look how many first-round picks were moved around in that deal.
Right.
However, this thing goes far deeper and much more nefarious because a resolution was just shot down in Texas to give the Adelsons the rights to open up a casino that would have been all-inclusive with the new Mavs stadium.
Right.
They don't go to legislation. They don't vote again for 2 more years. So if you lose your support from your fan base for your team, now you've got the leverage to lean on the state of Texas to vote this thing in, or guess what the Mavs are called? The Las Vegas Mavericks. This is a summation of the current state of the NBA. And even though we're talking about it right now, there are a lot of upset people. And we're going to see more trades like this, not just this year, but moving forward. And you're going to see more and more of the small teams get left out, and more of the Lakers get more and more of what they've always gotten. Started with Wilt Chamberlain, and now we're here at Luka Doncic.
Good thoughts, man. Good thoughts.
I love that. Those are great thoughts. Let's focus on the here and right now. At the end of the day, you put Luka Doncic, who's arguably best scorer in the league, best player in the league, if you want to go that far, as some people do. You put him in L.A., the national brand. You're talking about the money that they're going to make.
Big money.
You're talking about the money the NBA is going to make, because now you got one of the ones in LA, which is the second biggest market in the NBA in any sport. Like, that's money. 2, it allowed Adam Silver to keep his hands clean. This is just me speculating. The conversation on Friday. Hey, look, you know what? Yeah, I'll okay that deal. You know what? You want to trade, do a 1v1, it accomplishes 2 things. 1, it shows players, like we were about to show you, Anthony Edwards, it shows players you are no longer above the league.
Yep.
The stuff that Jimmy Butler is doing, no, we're not going to go for that. We gave you guys too much control. Now you're seeing Anthony Edwards. You know what? Before we get to the rest, play the sound on Anthony Edwards. This is Anthony Edwards on his podcast yesterday talking about what the reaction made him do, or with the trade, his reaction.
They say that nobody knew about the trade. Yeah, so that's crazy. At 25, they traded probably the best scorer in the NBA at 25. And he didn't know about it. So it's a lot more digging somebody got to do to find out why he got traded. Because you don't just trade him at 25. He just went to the finals, you know what I'm saying? So I feel bad for Luka, man, because I saw some on YouTube that said he just bought a crib and everything in Dallas. So that sucks, man. That sucks.
Is it informed, like
everybody?
You at 23.
Everybody get informed,
I was
yeah.
gonna say, like,
I'm scared.
How you see the league.
Yeah, I'm scared. Tim, hey, if you gonna trade me, let me know, dog. When Luka got traded, anybody is able to get traded at that point.
Before the game
Richie was saying that they were very happy with their investment in you. Does that give you at least a little?
Yeah,
comfort?
Woosah. Thank God. I just bought a crib too.
If the future face, all last offseason when we were dealing with the Olympics and even in the finals, who did we talk about was going to be the heir apparent face of the league? It was Anthony Edwards, my cousin. Let me tell you like this. If you got a 25-year-old face of the league scared in a league that he already owns, in a league where his contracts are guaranteed, this is exactly what owners want. They want players to be scared, because when players are scared or when you're nervous about what could happen, you know what? I think I'm going to make that meeting that I was going to skip. You know what? I wasn't going to go to shoot around, but I think I'm going to be on time to shoot around. You know what? I think I'm going to actually play this game when I really don't feel like playing, because we're playing against the who else, and they're not that – they were playing the Wizards, and they're not that good. I'm going to sit out. Now I'm going to play because they may move me. Owners are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Why am I rewarding them with this money if I don't believe in it? And that's why I said it started with the Timberwolves this past offseason. Mm-hmm. Timberwolves said, we're not giving Cat Zesty stuff $247 million. Right. No, we'll ship you off to New York. It was a terrible trade.
Horrible. You
just went to the Western Conference Finals. But they weren't about to pay Cat that money because he's not trustworthy.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Luka Doncic. We are not about to give you $345 million, because now you continue to send a message to the players. You can do what you want. You can get this bread. It's a collective by owners. And that's why Adam Silver was here. He said, yeah, you do that. Because this had, like you said, it goes to Texas, it goes to Vegas, it goes to the players, it goes to the ownership. It's a lot of things that happen in that one trade. What were your initial thoughts?
This was a fixed trade.
Well, this is the Chris Paul, David Stern trade. The Knicks on that, or the hands in that. This is one where you know that the hands are in the cookie pot of this trade somehow, some way.
My initial thoughts were right on page with you. I really thought that this was a cooked trade. I don't see it ending well for the Lakers in terms of rings for LeBron, but you do get one of the most marketable players in the NBA, who I know he's crying about his $10 million house.
He's 25.
$15 million.
$15 million.
Yeah.
Well, I know people that lost their $60,000 house, had nowhere to go, and didn't cry. So I'm not shedding tears for him. He doesn't get the super max or anything like that. But this guy's going to make more money than he lost through contract by being in LA. It's just, he's more marketable. There's more money. There's far more sponsorships in for that type of a market. When you look at what it means to the Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks short term, I love this move for the Mavericks. Everybody's so down on the Mavericks right now. Could they have gotten more? Should they have gotten more? Certainly. Yeah. But those two teams, they better not play in a play-in game, because now you got Kyrie and AD looking for their LeBron revenge.
Yep. With Klay Thompson.
What's that?
I said with Klay Thompson.
Even more so. I love that.
Yeah, they front court looking.
This is a cooked trade. This is you're not going to see just one of these. I'm actually I'm kind of pushed back by what you just said, because you hit the nail on the head. I hate to say the old term, but the inmates running the asylum. I can't stand when I work with a club and I start a new party with them, and their servers run the place. Not the manager, not the ownership. And realistically, that is something that has turned off a lot of the older fans of the NBA.
Yeah.
You know, people don't like seeing the buddy-buddy stuff. They don't see any rivalries. There's no physical play. But now you're seeing these kids running the NBA that people are spending their hard-earned money to go to. So your point about them, the owners, taking control back, I'm right on it with you. I like that.
Yeah.
Look what Jimmy Butler's doing. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Look what Jimmy Butler's doing to Pat Riley. They're both spiting each other.
Yep.
And the team is losing on this. No one else is losing.
Jimmy's getting closer and closer and closer to Phoenix.
Yeah.
And that was his end game. He's getting closer and closer.
I don't think Riley will let him go there.
No, what else
for
he gonna
spite?
The problem with that
Send him to Washington.
Problem with that situation is Pat Riley is an older individual. He's always done it his way. He's always had success, rightfully so. He's one of the greatest basketball minds, as he deserves. Problem is, he said one thing in that whole situation. I hope they're not trying to look at my truck and give me a ticket. But he told him, we're not trading you. Nothing that Pat Riley, nothing that the Miami Heat had done up to that point, nothing that they had done was wrong. It was all on Jimmy Butler. It was all on that. But when they told him, they looked him dead in the face. You cannot tell a player we're not trading you.
Right.
A player that's making $48 million, $49 million is becoming a distraction. If you once they said that, I feel like that's when Pat Riley lost control of the situation. Yeah. We're not trading you because now you got everybody watching. Like, so what are you gonna do? Right. Like, he clearly doesn't want to be there. You clearly don't want him there. Realistically,
no, correction. He did want to be there. They didn't want to give him.
But that's what I'm saying now.
Yeah. Now, of course.
I got a question for KG.
The Browns told Myles Garrett and told everyone else, we're not trading him,
which is a lie.
I got a question for KG.
Yeah.
How long do you think LeBron will continue to be an LA Laker?
I got the answer.
I mean, there is a chance that he could go during this cycle if he really wants to get to Golden State. They can do him the solid. And
How
do that.
long?
I just don't. I think he's gonna be there the rest of the year and next year with Luka, and that's when he departs.
All right, look, we got breaking news. Let's take a quick commercial break and get a message from Les Stanford. And when we come back, we'll have something for you guys.
And it is a new year. Well. That means a new you. So why don't you do it in a new car? Les Stanford Buick GMC is here for you. They got that amazing 2025 Hummer EV SUV, as well as the 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Crew Cab. 24 months on both. Amazing deals, all kinds of details there for you to check out. GM discount is required for both. Get to Les Stanford today or click on the screen and check out our massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, lesstanford.com.
We're just talking about the NBA. You got to get ready for the NBA playoffs coming up this spring. You might as well scan that QR code above my head. Get yourself your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account and head to Caesars through that QR code. Use the code word Woodward 1000 when you open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. Deposit at least $20. Make a bet of $20 or more. If that first bet happens to lose, you'll get that first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan the QR code above my head and use the code word Woodward 1000 to get your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. We will be right back.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
In any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
I don't know about you, but I can go for a drink right now. 1800 tequila, right? I mean, it's never too early, man. 1800 tequila is the official tequila of Woodward Sports and the Lions watch parties and the post-game shows. RIP to all of those, man. Next season, we got you. 1800 tequila. Proud sponsor of the Detroit Lions and the best tasting tequila. And make sure you drink responsibly.
And if you want to take the chore out of getting your hair cut, you got to go to Lady Jane's. Let their talented hairstylists deliver an industry-leading haircut, along with that relaxing scalp massage, hot leather, neck shave, and hot towel treatment. They're open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, you know it's wicked awesome.
Hey, Ricky, my mom watches the show, so, you can't have a drink before 5. Sorry about that, Mom. I'm sorry about that. I'm just joking. You asked a question before we had gone to break, talking about how long. Well, let you ask the question.
How long do you... It's kind of a two-parter, because it's predicated on how those two can coexist, the Luka-LeBron experiment. I don't see it going well after they are unceremoniously pushed out of the playoffs this season, if they make it. But how long does LeBron remain in LA? Do we see LeBron retire a Laker, or is he gone at some point?
I think we'll know the answer to that within a month, maybe even 3 weeks. I think LeBron's going to test the waters and see what this looks like, because he's all, like you said, KG, you hit the nail on the head. He's always loved Luka Doncic. You got countless teammates of his talking about his admiration for Luka Doncic whenever they get a chance to be in an all-star game. You see the camaraderie, you see the love. So this is a guy he's always admired. Probably he and Steph are the two that he's admired and always wanted to play with. So I say give it 3 weeks. He'll see, is this somebody that I can mold? Is this somebody that I can take a back seat to as I walk out the door? Is this someone that can conform a little bit and maybe it's worth sticking it out for another year? He'll know all that inside 3 weeks. Yeah. 3 weeks.
I think that's right. Right on. I don't think that LeBron gets moved at this trade deadline. There's too much money in the Luka-LeBron experiment for at least a half season. Yeah. But I don't see it going well, because LeBron, he might not be tuned in on defense all the time, but when it's nitty-gritty, he's going to play. We saw Luka really not interested in defending anybody in their playoff run, and it absolutely cost him a chance at winning those finals.
They may not make the playoffs.
5 seed right now could happen.
Guys.
They may not make it.
They're making the playoffs.
Okay.
And guess what?
Well, what defense?
Luka's going to play defense. He will play defense.
Okay. How? You can't do something you don't know how to do.
How?
You got rid of Finney-Smith, who's a different.
He's going to play better than what he was playing with the Dallas. He's going to give an effort. Like you said, some of these guys that give effort on the Pistons, at least they're trying. He will try. He will make himself look good. Him and LeBron together, maybe they don't defend.
Yeah.
But I'm no LeBron guy. I don't want anything to help him. But I think it will, to be honest with you. I think it gives them an injection that they needed. I believe that the two of them together, maybe they average 70 points between them. Going towards the playoffs.
Okay, that's 70.
Yeah.
And so those three, you're gonna have Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic on the perimeter. These are your perimeter players.
Listen, man, I just believe when a superstar gets dealt, and words are said about him, that he wasn't this, he was a bad teammate, which I hear a lot about. You saw him cry last year against the Celtics when he's on the floor, looking at the bench saying, hey, you better challenge that call, go after this referee. He was a baby. He played poorly last year. Brian Windhorst killed
went off
him.
on him, and he was right.
Absolutely killed him. Yeah. And he was worthy of that. And now he gets traded. Now he can't make $325 million for another 3-4 years. In that 3-4 years, he's got to stay healthy. So he's going to get in better shape. I believe this. I believe LA is a great fit for that guy. And I believe he will live up to everything that a Laker's supposed to be.
But does he win a ring?
But I think we're having two different conversations, and that is a part of the second conversation. The question was this year. I talked about playoffs this year.
They'll finish
I'm talking about Luka Doncic this year. I understand he's mad. He's going to go scorched earth and all that. Is he going to play some defense?
This year.
Who's going to help them? Who's a rim protector? Who are you going to kick the
Who's
ball into?
Who's a more impactful player in the
rebound?
NBA right now, AD or Luka?
AD.
Absolutely.
AD for the totality
if he plays.
He's played twice as many games as Luka has this year.
I know he played 76 games this year. I get it.
There's no yelling.
I get it.
Why you busting?
I'm not busting his balls. We're having the show. Like, he played 76 last year,
You're
70
right.
year before that.
I know he's been out the last week or so, and hopefully he'll play.
But now we know why.
Yeah.
Now we know why.
I appreciate your optimism,
Yeah.
Maz, but if he can't get up to play defense in the finals, I don't know if he's going to get up to play defense because LeBron's barking in his ear. The three perimeter players are players. Shout out Austin Reeves. He's really come a long way. Beyond that, can you name a guy on the team? Jared Vanderbilt? Who are we talking about right now?
Don't sleep on Rui Hachimura.
Rue?
That was a joke.
Come on. I mean,
First of all, that was
look at the
sarcasm.
pieces that this team has
Hachi's gonna step his
defensively
game up, too.
on the interior. I mean,
Dalton Connect.
listen, the NBA will make sure that this
You just
team
said a
makes the
name.
playoffs.
Dalton
right?
Connect. Yeah.
You just said a name.
He might not be there.
The NBA will
He's a nice trade piece.
They right now have a 1.5 game lead on the play-in game as the 5 seed. The NBA will take care of the Lakers and
Yeah.
make sure that they make
100%.
the playoffs. But the playoffs are won by defense, period. I would pray for a play-in matchup between these two teams because
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think
Who wouldn't?
the Zebras probably can't even win that game for LA.
Here's the thing that we skipped over. Do you think anyone knew outside of the owners and Adam Silver? Because that's how they're framing it right now. They're
LeBron.
framing it as owner,
LeBron knew.
and GM. Cut the
LeBron
deck.
knew. Absolutely. LeBron knew.
All right.
100%.
Well-
If you think that he didn't, of course they're going to say he didn't.
NBA execs around the league, and Pete, you can put this up.
That's why I was.
They're pissed. They're pissed because they didn't get a shot to shoot their shot.
Sounds like my dynasty league.
Yep, they didn't get a chance to shoot their shot.
Sports Illustrated. NBA executives reportedly fears the Lakers had the only bid for a Luka Doncic trade, and that goes to the point that you're talking about the collusion with Adam Silver.
Yeah.
That was how he's at the game
That's
on
a fact.
Friday. 100%. Like, we're not gonna let anybody else get a crack at it. And even when Collins, who we'll listen to, or not Collins, but
Nico Harrison,
who we'll listen to in a
You
second.
see Jason Kidd sitting next to him.
And we'll get a question and conversation about that as well. But actually, just play that now. Let's just
Nico
play that
Harrison,
now.
the GM from the Mavericks, the other day when this trade went through. Just take a look at Jason Kidd and tell me he knew about this deal.
And I'd like to give Rob Pelinka a lot of credit. You know, trades, you guys have been around here, trades don't happen at the smallest level without stuff getting out. And Rob and I were able to have, you know, really intense conversations over the course of, 3 or 4 weeks that started out as a coffee that, was more, hey, would you ever, I don't know, would I? Let me think of, and then it built upon that. And, we kept it between us. We had to keep it tight. Jay Kidd didn't know about it. But Jay Kidd and I are aligned, and we talk about archetypes, and we talk about the culture that we want to create. So I know the type of players that he likes without actually talking to him. Hey, would you like, so I know that. And Jay Kidd coached them when they won a championship. So I think when you're aligned with your coach like that, I know the type of players that he likes. And so I felt good about it making sense to where we're trying to go.
This is the one thing I will say is, and I'll let you guys respond on if you think he knew and was he saying the truth. The one thing that I find very, very coincidental is after this trade goes through, now you get all this that came out. He botched the Steph Nike deal. He botched the Jalen Brunson deal. It's a setup because if this doesn't work, he's going to get –
He meaning who?
Nico Harrison.
Okay.
Like Nico Harrison was at Nike. Nico Harrison was the GM when Jalen Brunson didn't come through. So now they're saying that he botched these particular incidents so that when this does not work, the owner and the commissioner, it's no blame on them. It wasn't them. It was the GM. It's the GM that had a track record of doing this. So, but what are your thoughts on him telling this right now at the podium?
Yeah.
Jay Kidd looked like
big credit to Rob Pelinka. He said that
University of Michigan,
and he should get a lot of credit because he didn't have to give anything really. I mean, obviously he gave up AD, but this type of a trade we've seen over the last 5 years requires multiple first rounders.
Yeah, look, 2 players, Dorian Finney-Smith and AD.
And obviously they didn't have those deals to give up. But what I heard and what I really saw stick in Jay Kidd's craw was not part of that interview, but a little bit later on or earlier in the piece where he said, well, who knows if we'll be here in 8 or 9 years? Well, I'll tell you what, buddy, you absolutely sealed the deal on not being there. When we look at Dan and
What
Brad,
if they win this year?
When we look at Dan and Brad, they don't talk about us not maybe being here in 8-9 years. I want a GM that sees him here 10 years and 20 years down the road and makes decisions accordingly. This guy's already waving the white flag of life. If you're worried about not being at your job in 8 or 9 years, that is not a winner's mentality.
I feel like it's cold. I feel like it's cold for what the situation is going on down there. It's not really him pulling the trigger. Like, he's just a front man with a title.
That's interesting.
Because I feel like he knows. He's like, look, maybe we're here. He's a front man with the title, just like Robert Saleh was the head coach with the Jets. Outside of defense, we're not telling you anything. Like, your job is to be a head coach and coach the defense. However, we're not going to let you do your job by telling you what's going on behind the scenes. I think that's his nervous energy, is he already knows that he's a front man for the situation.
That. You know, to double down on the conspiracy talk around it, though.
I love a good conspiracy theory with Anson Wells.
I'd love to find out what kind of relationship the Busses and the Adelsons have. Because I don't know how you can get that deal without shopping one of the most marketable players in the NBA, without the backing of the NBA, which we talked about to begin this whole conversation, and without some sort of a backdoor give back, which could be completely real.
I got a similar trade. Maz, Ricky, Pete, Anson. Tell me if you agree. And again, it's involving the Lakers. I feel like all trades usually are when they get to this level, whether it was Shaq, Chris Paul, or maybe it was Paul Gasol, Memphis to L.A. Oh, how did that go down? Because nobody else got
another one.
Nobody else got in on that. Kobe Bryant decides that's it. Where was he going, by the way?
Detroit.
Thank you. On his way to Detroit. I'm out of L.A. I'm tired of this. I'm gone. And in the middle of the night, just like that, an all-star, and Paul Gasol was probably at that time
Hall of Famer.
Like, he was already Hall of Famer at that point. At that time, he's probably the best power forward in the league.
Yes, sir.
And he, in the middle of the night, becomes an L.A. Laker once again. In the middle of the night, when nobody talk about it. That was Arm Tellem, though, who's a part of the Detroit
Why do these
Pistons.
deals keep happening for the Lakers and the
Because
Celtics?
it's La La Land.
Listen, when I was a kid, Wilt
Why did
Chamberlain was
KG and Ray
traded
Allen
to
get
them.
to Boston?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was traded from the Bucks.
Lakers.
Who just won a world championship.
Yes, sir.
Let's trade him to L.A.
Yes, sir.
And they get everything. It happens. Today, Anthony Davis, at his first Mavericks practice, they got in touch with him. Here's AD.
So do you think this is good or bad for the league if it keeps happening this way?
Hold on, Ricky.
I was shocked.
Everyone else?
Like I said, I didn't know. I was actually at home about to watch a movie with my wife and got the phone call. So I had no idea. I just sent the team text about congratulations on the win against the Knicks, big win, and then looking forward to Tuesday's game against the Clippers as far as standing purposes. And then found out like an hour later I was no longer with the team. So I was in shock, obviously. I had no idea that it was happening. But now it's I'm kind of over it and just kind of getting ready to play with Dallas.
What was that initial conversation like with Nico? And obviously you had a history with him and J. Kidd.
Yeah.
Just about the opportunity you have here.
Yeah. Obviously excitement. Nico believes in me, what I can add to this team. I'm not going to put everything that we talked about out there, but we're both, extremely excited about what we can do, and I think we have a great opportunity to win championship.
All right. Thanks, AD.
Appreciate it.
And we appreciate Mike Curtis of the Dallas News, formerly of Detroit. I want to get to your question, but real quick, this is going to be good for AD. This is going to be good for AD. It took AD a while to get integrated into L.A. When he first got there, there's distractions all over the place. Like, he's a young, tall guy, tons of money, he's hanging out with LeBron. L.A. is a place that's full of distractions. Not distractions in a bad way, distractions making money, being invested in things, life, social life. I think now he's got that out the way. He's now gotten into the player that he's going to be these last 2 years. Now he's in Dallas. He's literally just going to be hooping.
All these Mavs fans picketing in front of their arena have no idea what they're in store for.
Well,
I get it. I get it. Like when they were talking about moving Isaiah to Mavs Knicks, I was not happy about it. Now, in hindsight, understanding his health probably would have been a great deal for the Pistons. Yeah. But this is a better Mavericks team today.
AD's got to stop crying too. Because by the way, this is how it's always been done. How many players over the last 25 years, including myself, have told you, "Oh yeah, ESPN found out I got traded. I was sitting on the sideline."
It's a business, baby.
There was a player on the sideline maybe 4 years ago and found out he got traded. It was a huge player.
Well,
was it D Wade or somebody?
My thing is,
stop with that.
My thing is all the people saying, comparing it. Can you think of a worse trade? Well, Deshaun Watson comes to mind for one. These two trades are not even in the same hemisphere, okay? Because what you did to the Clevelands with Deshaun Watson was destroy a franchise for 5 years. And this makes a team in the Mavericks better this year. Don't sleep on the Mavericks at this point. They're the best defensive team, not named OKC, in the Western Conference at this point. And in fact, with all of the veteran leadership and experience in terms of finals, and the best player from the Summer Olympics, I know you love your boy Curry, but AD was the man. That team probably is in the Western Conference Finals now.
They're a runner-up for the championship last year. He's got to be happy. He's going from really a dysfunctional team to a team that's got a chance, I believe, to climb up the Western standings, make the playoffs without being a play-in team, and make a run. They didn't win last year. They met the better team, and they lost badly.
2.5 games out of the 6th seed, Mass.
Yes, they lost badly last year. They looked very overmatched. So they tinkered a little. So the more the days go on and the more I hear about this and read about it and learn about this, you might be right, man. It might not be a bad deal for right now. But it reminds me of, I just saw them take down the Luka Doncic poster outside the AT&T Stadium. It reminded me of Moneyball when they were pulling Giambi's name down. They were pulling Johnny Damon's name down. That's a sad part for the Dallas fans. But you know what? You got Anthony Davis. He's not a slouch. He ain't 25 years old anymore, but nobody's slouch.
Yeah, we've heard from Anthony Davis. Here's Luka Doncic on the trade.
Do you think you had something to prove? Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Obviously, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Win the championship. You don't come here for nothing else than championship. So I have everything left to prove. So. And the goal is to win the championship.
I think it's going to work for AD and Luka in the long run. I think Luka's young. This is year 7 for him. He's going to be fine. LA is a huge market. Like, as a person that knows the NBA, talking about him, he knows the market he's in. He knows the player that he's going to be with for the foreseeable 4 months, if you will, or 3 months. He knows what was going on in Dallas. Like, regardless of how it happened, at the end of the day, it's more. I'm not saying he should be. It's more embarrassment than anything, because he knew the situation wasn't right with Luke, with Dallas. He knew that he and the owner didn't have a rapport. He knew they made the move, or Mark Cuban made the move to sell the team. That probably was the first domino to drop. He made a comment during the season. What did he say? All the people I love are leaving, because they fired 2 other people in the front office or on staff, maybe back in October or so. So you knew this was coming. So I think a lot of people were like, oh man, like, how's he gonna feel and what's he doing? You know when you know. It's just the embarrassed part. I never would have thought in a million years they did it. Well, they did, and now it's time to move on. And that goes to Maz's point. Now, maybe you see a Luka Doncic that you very rarely get to see when Luka's in that zone.
We'll see. I mean, his offensive game isn't going anywhere.
It's never been questioned.
We know that.
Yeah.
I think that it's a fantastic move for him, business-wise. I just don't know if Luka is ever going to win a championship as the guy. You might see Luka win some championships as he gets 29, 30, 31, and maybe even with another team. I imagine that this is a lifetime deal, though. This is a situation where the Lakers are going to bring in Luka, and they're going to try and have him retire a Laker. But again, he doesn't play defense. He does not play defense, and I don't care how much focus and time he puts into it, he doesn't have the physical ability to be a great defender. If he can get up to be an average defender, maybe there's a championship in his future. As for the Mavs on the other side of the coin, I don't think they're going to get past OKC, but I think that they can certainly be one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the West for 1 or 2 more years. At the end of the day, though,
they can get
the
by
Mavs
OKC.
should have gotten more.
They could get by OKC. They can.
Yeah, maybe.
They can.
Well, they got two.
They can repeat.
They got
as
two guys
Western
with rings.
champions.
They got two guys with rings, and OKC has none of that.
I believe they can repeat as Western champions. You just saw Pete put it up. You saw the poster coming down off the American Airlines Arena. It reminds me of the old Oakland Alameda County Coliseum when Giambi got traded and let go by free agency. So did Johnny Damon. There was another trade today. Mavericks got Caleb Martin. Caleb Williams would have been big. Caleb Martin from the 76ers as well. Sixers are just trying to stay under the cap right now. They picked up another second-round pick. Everyone loves these second-round picks. I don't understand what the second-round pick is, by the way. What is the second-round pick? The Pistons have like 10, 15 of them. OKC, I still think, has 30 of them.
Just to let you know, Caleb Williams would suck in Dallas, too.
He probably would. Anyway, that's another trade for Dallas. So, what's up? Quentin Grimes for Caleb Martin.
They're already crying about losing Quentin Grimes. I mean, this guy was the bottom of the Pistons last year. He is a replacement level player at best. Caleb's got some experience. I want to say with both Philly and Miami.
Yeah.
So that's a piece that you bring on that can help score. You know, I know
he shoots threes.
Yeah, he can help score for you. Some of the offense that you're losing with Luka, he's going to make up for a touch of that. I like the way that the Mavs look in 2025.
I do too, Mavs. This was it's still a shocking trade. Like, obviously we're here, we understand it now. We're trying to make sense of it, and this is what it's going to look like. But it's a shocking trade, probably one of the biggest in terms of the NBA in my lifetime.
For sure.
And we got a couple other ones that you put together. So take us through this, and we'll get reactions to top 10 most shocking trades
This
of
is
all
from Fox
time.
Sports. They put the top 10 most shocking trades of all time of North American sports. Number one, they put Luka, obviously. We just talked about that forever. Babe Ruth is still probably number one.
It is.
Babe Ruth, you know, for
over Gretzky?
Yeah, Babe Ruth.
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Like,
the Red Sox.
But here's my thing. Like, none of us, at least I don't think so, were alive in 1921.
I get that.
I think
But
that every single time they bring up Babe Ruth,
Like,
how are we still talking?
How do we
about
really slate that? Like, you know,
Well,
I
don't know.
agree with you.
Because when they traded him in 1912, they didn't win a World Series till 2004.
Would that be like Bobby Lane being traded
It's
to
called-
the Pittsburgh
No,
Steelers
it's
in
worse.
1958?
No, it's worse. Because it's almost 100 years.
What are we at? 75 now?
Doesn't matter. Wayne Gretzky, obviously, of the Kings, was a shocker.
Yeah.
Absolute shocker. That was an owner in Bruce McNall.
That's right.
That, Peter Pocklington was going broke in Edmonton. So he's like, I got to trade this guy. I'm broke. I need money. There's a trade on here that I'm going to tell you about that ain't on here, to me, which is the worst trade in history of sports. I'll tell you about that. But Bruce McNall, he was a crook. He owned the LA Kings. Peter Pocklington was a broke owner in Edmonton. They made that deal. Edmonton survived. Won some Stanley Cups after that. Wilt Chamberlain back in the day to the Sixers. Then, of course, he goes to the Lakers. Herschel Walker, let's face it, put the Dallas Cowboys on the map, Ray. They traded him, got all those picks, and they wound up getting the triplets out of that.
I want to go back to number 2. I want to go back to this Babe Ruth, the Red Sox to the Yankees. This was Babe Ruth's stats with the Boston Red Sox. And I'll just go. I'll go home runs.
And they traded him for like a Broadway show ticket.
But he was
but let me finish. Y'all cut me off because you're both wrong. 0, 4, 3, 2, and 11 home runs.
But wait, look at his pitching, though.
He's pitching.
So his pitching, that was why it was so much.
I know me and Maz always have the Shohei Ohtani type deal. Now we go to pitching. Let's see. Shoot.
Plenty of no-hitters.
It was all right.
That's all right. You don't got to read them all. We know.
At the end of the day, it's not bigger than Luka Doncic
all right.
in the field.
It was like 90-some-odd years before the Red Sox won a World Series.
Okay.
I'd put Luka at 3, to be honest with you. I know that everybody's excited about this thing right now.
I wouldn't put it over Wayne.
No, I would put Wayne number 1, to be quite honest with you.
I agree.
Now, the reason I'm doing that with Babe Ruth is because as big of a player as he was not the Babe when he was traded.
Yeah.
He made the majority of his mark in New York. Wayne Gretzky was the greatest player of all time in everyone's minds at that point when he was moved.
Gordie Howe.
I mean, Gordie Howe, of course, is the only other guy that's even in the conversation. Babe Ruth was not heralded as the greatest baseball player ever when he was traded. The Will Chamberlain one is actually probably way too high. Because the reason that happened was because of the Philadelphia Warriors.
Right.
So he really just stayed at home when franchises were moving around. The Herschel Walker one probably could be moved up into the 2 or 3 range because not only of how big Herschel was, but all of the assets that moved, and everybody had never seen that before. So it was a groundbreaking trade, which now we see as commonplace when you move a superstar. You move multiple first-round picks.
Don't sleep on number 7.
We haven't got the 6 yet.
Absolutely. Should be top 5 all day long, the Shaquille trade. Should be over KG all day.
Go ahead, man.
Number 6, of course, Kevin Garnett to the Celtics. We all know about that trade. And then, of course, the Nets did their deal with him. Shaquille O'Neal.
Now,
go from the Lakers to the Heat after, of course,
but they lost
the
to the
Pistons took care of business.
That one right there was crazy. I never thought that Kobe and Shaq would break up. I knew that there was friction there. I knew that there was some back and forth, whatever. But you still didn't think you'd see it because at that time, 3 in a row and then almost a 4-peat. Stopped by the Detroit Pistons. Shout out to the Going to Work Pistons. Almost a 4-peat.
Can I be honest?
And now you send him to Miami, and then 2 years later he wins a title with Flash, as he deemed him. Like, this is another one of those ones.
I looked at this quickly, and I was just assuming it was the Magic because we all knew Shaq was being moved after 04.
Because they weren't going to pay him.
So to me, that wasn't a surprise. You make it in your rookie deal,
Magic to the Lakers
to the finals, albeit you got swept. But then you get moved over there. These two, they're on the same page for me. The Doncic trade and then Shaq leaving the Magic to go to L.A., I put those right there around 3 or 4. But to me, Wayne Gretzky is the number 1 all day.
I think the craziest thing about, I agree with that, and it had the same feeling as the AD and Luka trade because you completely did not know. You completely would have never foreseen it happen. Nobody was whispering this conversation anywhere. A lot of these conversations, a lot of these things, like, oh, okay, this was going to happen, or this was going to happen, or you knew this would happen, or this may have happened. Like that trade right there, that Wayne Gretzky one was like, wait, what?
Let me know when I can have the floor.
You can talk.
You're sitting on it, baby. Let's go.
You ready? It's not even on here. 1976.
Oh, shocking.
Young Tom Mazaway woke up that morning. It was a Friday morning. Could not wait to see his New York Nets play the L.A. Lakers on national television because the New York Nets were just joining the NBA from the ABA. They won the championship, beat David Thompson and the Nuggets, and here they are, getting ready to play against Magic and the Lakers. Not Magic, but Kareem and the Lakers, 76. And what happened? I wake up and I see the headlines of the New York Daily News. I could still read them. Dr. J sold to the Sixers for $1 million.
Because the Knicks didn't want him.
The Knicks did not want him. That's right. They offered him that. Roy Bowe, biggest crook to ever own a team. He owned the Nets and he owned the Islanders. He was broke. He owed everyone money. He sold the biggest piece that the ABA had to offer. The reason the ABA was coming over to the NBA was for Julius Erving.
True.
And they traded him. And the Nets have not been anything since, and they probably never will be, ever again. Sure, Jason Kidd took them to 2 finals. They weren't going to win those.
How many games they
won?
win?
Julius Erving curse is real. All right? Come on, man. Gave Dr. J away for $1 million.
I have a better curse than that.
I rest my case.
That was $10 million in '75, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And I have one for the road if you guys don't mind here. Maz, you being a baseball fan, how about the curse of the Oakland A's? Jose Canseco being traded to the Texas Rangers for Ruben Sierra, Bobby Witt, and I forgot who the other guy was, and the A's have never been the same again. Ruben Sierra, so overrated. The Oakland A's were imploded after that. And that was during the steroid era.
Yep.
Yeah, Ruben Sierra could send the ball to the moon. That joker could hit, but you're right, it was an overblown trade.
Come on, man.
Who was the prospect we gave up for Miggy? I forget what his name was.
Miggy.
We gave up. We got him back 3 different times.
Yeah.
Cameron Maben.
Yeah, Cameron Maben.
Yeah. That was a surprising trade, and I don't know
That
if
was
it
a
was
great trade.
so
Great
much
trade.
surprising because Miggy got moved, but because Detroit actually got a superstar in a trade. I mean, can you think of outside of Stack and Sheed any time that this? I mean. The Red Wings just brought everybody in during about 15-year era, but the Detroit teams, we just never landed superstars.
Yeah, speaking of superstars, there is a superstar that potentially is on the move from a team that I used to play for. Let's get a little bit about what the Lions could do, and is this a potential real deal? We didn't get anything from you yesterday, so Maz, also you too.
Oh yeah,
that's a story that we want to talk about. So we'll switch and start talking about these guys, but first we'll get a message in from Sabbath Coffee.
That's right, everybody. You can fuel your sports fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of KG. There,
Sabbath Coffee Roaster.
I hope you all heard that. Head to SabbathCoffeeRoasters.com right now. Choose your favorite roast. Use the code word Woodward, and you'll get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind, support local, and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Also, don't forget to head to shop.woodwardsports.com right now. You can get yourself the latest and the greatest Detroit sports merch. Hey, Tigers pitchers and catchers report next week, so you might as well get some brand new Tigers gear over there at shop.woodwardsports.com. Pistons and Red Wings are still in session, and we still love the Lions no matter what. Head to shop.woodwardsports.com right now and get yourself the latest and the greatest Detroit sports merch. We'll be right back.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
How do you think you won?
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Everybody, the big game requires a big party, and Woodward Sports live watch parties at Hayes Social, that's the way to go. Come watch the game with the crew on 3 17-foot TV screens. That's right, we do it the big way. Pause. Book your table today before they are gone. 586-247-2223. Great food, drink specials, and the best big game party around. Hayes Social at 21 Mile and Hayes Road in Shelby Township. Brought to you by 1800 Tequila, Sabbath Coffee Roasters, Soroki Chicken and Pizza, and New Holland Brewing Company, Mass.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling a financial pinch? Well, Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs, $5,000 right off the top. Call Mark White and his team today, 248-290-8242. Try him online as well, markwhitesells.com. Again, that number, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Welcome back in, second hour of the show. Reminding that was with Maz. Anson Wells joining the show today. Glad to have him. Ricky in the audio booth. I see you over there, big fella.
Yeah, I'm just trying to earn a living, man. He's over here trying to earn a living.
Boy, got that Dreamville crew neck on. I went to Dreamville last year for the first time. J. Cole, hey, it was a hell of a show. It was awesome. It was almost surreal too, because I was actually there in attendance. That's where he announced that he was out. The situation with that when he had the red jersey on, I was there. I show you after work, and it was like, is this all going? Is this real? Is this he's out? It's no longer he. You know what I'm saying? And Drake versus K-Dot, but I was there.
Before we move on,
okay.
I watched the Grammys. I love the Grammys.
Shout out to the Grammys.
I watched them again last night.
We back.
Come on, man. Kendrick Lamar winning Record of the Year.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Against that field, he won that.
Maz, see, you about to piss me off.
I knew I would.
But it's not about.
I thought of you right away.
But it has nothing to do with.
I like the guy.
It has.
He seems to be
it
a
has
real
nothing
cool dude.
to do if Taylor's bigger than Kendrick. It has nothing to do if Beyonce is bigger.
I didn't say her either.
Has nothing to do with whoever you think is bigger than Kendrick Lamar. It was the #1 song last year. Like, it was the #1 song last year. The song is everywhere. Song was at bat mitzvahs, for heaven's sake. Like, the song was legitly, you could not go anywhere and ignore what the song was. You can say you didn't like it.
Now, did he win Album of the Year, too?
Hell no. They ain't go that far.
He won 2 awards.
He won 5.
But 2 big ones.
Yeah, he won Song of the Year and Record of the Year.
Yeah, what's the difference between Song of the Year and Record of the Year, by the way? What's the difference?
You don't know what the difference between a song and an album is?
One is a single. One is a single. One's
an album
on
is a record.
It's not an album. There's best
It's
album
a record.
of the year,
Yeah.
best
There's
record of the
album,
year,
and
best song of the year.
One song, a record is many songs.
So is an album.
Yeah. A record is an album.
Why don't they just do one album or one record then?
No.
Because there's 2
record
awards.
Is one.
Is this
the
what's
album
going on right now?
involves the full design,
the full body
and
work.
everything, like cover to inserts and
Versus
everything. The
the
record's
single.
the disc, and then the song is the single.
Come on, Maz, are you trolling us right now? What's going on?
No, I'm just letting them know.
Although Beyonce did take home the country
I know that's
album
a joke
of
as
the
well.
year.
That's a freaking joke.
Somebody was playing it on Twitter, and it's not country; it's R&B.
Yeah, fun fact: she won 0 CMT awards. So put that together. She
I
won
saw that.
Grammy for country song
But-
of the
but
year.
I mean,
0 for CMT.
Ricky? Have you heard the album?
No,
I've heard
neither.
it.
I'm good.
Is it country?
It has elements of country in it.
It has elements of country.
Everybody's going country.
But hold on, if we want to go that route, what country music isn't the country music we grew up on.
Right.
It's not country as we call it. They've had EDM, they've had rock hits. Country is no longer country. It's not just, sitting in my truck and Bubba gave up. It's not that anymore. Country has elements of EDM, it has elements of rock, has elements of R&B. Like, hell, Miley Cyrus is making songs with Juicy J. Next week she got an album out. Like, it's different. It's evolved.
Beyonce's on that Michael Jackson bleaching program, though. It sure looked like.
I was happy Bruno.
I can give you that.
I was happy Bruno and Lady Gaga won.
But then they didn't play their song. Like, they went up there and sang California Dreaming.
Which was good.
It's great, but their song is actually great. I actually like that song.
It was. I love it.
Yeah, it was actually
I'm
great.
glad that one won.
I won't say this though. It looked like everybody was having a good time. I feel
it's
like
a great show.
Yeah, but the last 7 years of the Grammys and Oscars has been weird.
But
it looks like a weird space. Everybody looks like they're there held by gunpoint. Like, everybody was vibing. They were moving around. I saw Dr. Dre smile for the first time since he got
the
$1 billion
You know who didn't look like he was having a good time?
Jay-Z.
That's right.
I saw
Kanye
some
West
smiles.
wasn't allowed in. He wasn't invited in. But a man with an allegation we won't say it on Fox 2, he can sit a full row behind his wife.
Anson.
Oh, God.
His guest was butt naked. And also,
I get that, but no, he wasn't even invited to them.
100%.
But like whether
She's always butt naked.
Listen, I'm a big fan.
And I got nothing wrong
I
with
have
that.
come full circle to become a Kanye fan. But anybody that does that to their wife is a creep, dude. I know that you're going to be talking about you afterwards.
She's like a robot.
She did not look happy.
No, she's like a robot. She always looks
not
that
look
way.
happy.
She always looks that way. It looks like
She is a clone. She's a clone, bro.
She's hypnotized. She
There's a
don't look
there's
real.
a two-word
Great looking lady,
term
by
for
the way.
that. It's called
Great
kept
looking
woman.
lady.
But I'll tell you what, KG should be in there with Ricky right now because I know he got so much to say about this topic.
Well, you got your spin on it. I got mine.
I'm over here fighting for my life. I'm over here fighting for my life. You know who else was fighting for his life, and he decided to throw in the towel, and that's Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett has decided to throw in the towel in Cleveland. He's tired of them leaving.
Are we
This is what
doing
I
this
do,
again
man.
in Detroit? Are we really doing this again here in Detroit, Bray?
Yes, we are.
Why?
So let me ask you this: what is this in Detroit? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the way that these guys are building this team.
Okay.
The way that they have built it from the start. They have given no one, aside from Jared Goff, a 3-year deal. Ever. Unless you played for them or you were drafted by them, they are not breaking the bank for an unknown player. Obviously, we know who he is, but we don't know who he is as a Lion in the locker room down in Allen Park.
Sure we do.
Do some players are they above that
Yes.
though?
Well, and it's not about that with him. It's partly about that, but it's a huge part in regard to capital draft picks. These draft picks are so crucial with a team that is about to be up against the wall because what have they done? They've drafted really damn well. And now they got to pay these guys. We're sitting over here arguing whether or not we, pick 2, get rid of 1. And then we're talking about J-Mo, Kirby, or Hutch. Those are guys you want to have here. Now, I know that the way that the salary works for Myles Garrett, that we get some relief somewhat soon. I just don't see this Detroit Lions front office moving first-round picks, multiple, for a guy like Myles Garrett, no matter how good he is. Now, if you can get a team to take on a Hendon Hooker with a first-round pick, you might have a deal.
That ain't happening.
But you got to get the right buyer in that situation, which could maybe be the Raiders, and maybe you could talk about Max Crosby. But listen, Detroit Lions fans, stop this. You've done it for 2 damn years, and now you're about to do it for a 3rd. This is not the way these guys are building this franchise. You watch so many of these guys, Khalil Mack, and these guys that make all this money and get all this capital in exchange for them. And where are these teams? They're fighting for just to get in the playoffs at this point.
Listen to me,
and
man.
if you guys do that, if these Lions do that for a major player like this once or 2 times, you pull back everything that you've done.
How many draft picks do you need to make your team?
Right.
At this
Constant
point,
draft picks for the
listen
next
to me.
decade.
At this point, do you think Myles Garrett might have been able to maybe corral Jaden Daniels if you had him? Do you think maybe...
Wouldn't have been enough to beat the Eagles.
You don't know that.
But you would have got there.
You don't know that.
But you would have got there.
How many more rookies can you fit on this team? How many more draft picks can you fit on this team?
How many more $15 to $30 million guys can you fit on this team?
I realize that. And to get Myles Garrett, we know you have to sign Hutch. You know you got to sign either J-Mo or Kirby or Branch eventually. One of them probably got to go then. But I'll take one of them to go to get a guy like Myles Garrett.
Okay, so what's the deal? Two picks?
Listen, this is a Dan Patrick show earlier today. All right? Albert Breer from the Monday Morning Quarterback on that show, and he threw this out to Dan Patrick.
All right, final 30 seconds. We're going to play the Myles Garrett game later on. Where will he go? I'll let you have your...
My favorite destination would be Detroit.
Oh.
I just think about that. Like I'm like they're in a spot now where they don't need their first round pick. They don't really need to keep stocking. They may be in a position where if you're them, you could almost say like we may only have 5 or 6 rookies make our team. You know what I mean? Like so are they in a position now where it's like we can start to flip picks. If you're them and you lost all of these coaches and you want to flip the momentum and kind of keep things going in the right direction, I mean, God, the idea of Myles Garrett opposite Aiden Hutchinson, I mean, like that to me is really intriguing. And so, I mean, I think Detroit's in this championship window, and like after, I mean, they had so much momentum, and then the ugly loss to Washington, and they lose 6 or 7 coaches, and it's like looks like, oh God, are they missing their window? What's the easiest way to flip that?
That's interesting. I like that.
I thought he had some good points. Albert Breer.
I agree.
I think Albert Breer has some great points. I think what Detroit fans need to stop doing, since you want to point out what they need to stop doing, you included, stop thinking that the only way that you're going to win the title is going to be through the draft. Like, I understand that the Lions have built through the draft. The team has been great. You haven't spent money, and it's benefited you. You've had picks. You've had cash. You've been able to do some things. So I understand that. But you got to understand, Anson, like, you're going to have to make a move at some point. Maybe this isn't the move.
Who did the Chiefs trade for?
Frank Clark in the middle of the season, and paid Frank Clark. And he won them 2 Super Bowls. He's the all-time leader in sacks in the Super Bowl. I can't remember exactly.
Does it matter?
Second round pick and something. They won the Super Bowl twice.
It does matter because giving up.
Anson, hold on. Hear me out. I'm not even getting upset. Why can't you at least? I said maybe this isn't the move, but at some point there will be a trigger that you're going to have to pull. At least accept that.
Oh, I'm down for trades,
Yeah,
but I just when I see these trades stack up on
But
these,
what trade has been like this one? Where you're getting a Miles Garrett. If you would have had Miles Garrett on this team this year, you would have been in the NFC Championship.
And I'm not upset.
Right.
What is the trade then? 3 first rounders? 2?
Whatever they want.
It's not 3. It's 2.
Because I've seen 3 and Hendon Hooker or 3 and another player. I've seen 2, which is more palatable. Yeah. And I'm not necessarily saying that I would be against giving up a number 29 pick. Or actually, what are we picking? 27 now or something like that?
Isn't the objective to win the Super Bowl?
It is the objective to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But I do think that there's some confusion from Detroit fans because the pure objective that they had bringing this new regime in was to change the culture
and they've
of
changed,
this
and they've changed it
100%. But changing it, like, hey, I asked everybody last year if we lose in the first round of the playoffs next year, are we SOL? And everyone here said yes. And then I got crucified the week after we lost in the first round of the playoffs for saying it was still SOL. All right? When you look at this team, what they are doing is selling tickets, selling jerseys, continued fan and national interest, something that this franchise has never, ever had. And they have come up short. They have come up short. The quickest way to come up short for multiple years is to give up massive capital for one player for 1 or 2 years.
And the quickest way to never get a Super Bowl is to be scared to pull that trigger and hold on to cash.
I don't have a problem pulling triggers.
They would have to re-sign him, by the way. Not 2 or 3 years.
What I am saying is that the Detroit Lions brass is not interested.
But you were interested in Max Crosby, though.
Huh?
Weren't you interested in Max Crosby?
You mean
he's on the
earlier in the season?
Yeah.
No, I told everybody you're all on crack.
Okay.
It's been 2 straight years of everybody thinking that this administration is just going to give up a bunch of capital to bring in Khalil Mack type players.
Khalil Mack would be a lot cheaper than Myles Garrett.
But I'm okay with trades. Yeah. And I think that this franchise is okay with trades. I just don't see this franchise being run by who it's run, looking to give up 2 or 3 major first-round picks or 2 first-rounders and 2 second-rounders. I don't see them doing what the Rams did.
Would you rather him go to another team that you have to beat? Would you rather him go?
The Eagles,
I was just about to bring that
the
up.
Commanders.
Yeah, because Ermanni
it's also
said that
about
yesterday.
keep away.
Yeah, because Ryan said that yesterday. His thing was we need to get them, honestly, as defense, well, no pun intended, for other teams like the Eagles or somebody else to get them so we won't have to go against them. And in my opinion, I think we should give him whatever he wants because we got to get a Super Bowl quick. I think if we go through draft picks, maybe a couple years down the line, that'll pay off. But let's be real. We don't get a Super Bowl next year, we're all going to be in trouble.
Hey, a couple super chats from Rando Smalls. Thank you, Rando. You've been all over the board today. He says, go get Garrett, and we lose 2 to 3 players we draft. He says, no deal. Then he says, when was the last time a free agent worked out here? So, Rando,
but it's not. But
you got your opinion.
But the problem is you can't say when the last time it worked here. Like at some point something works, regardless of what. At some point you're gonna win. At some point,
brought up Frank Clark.
At some point you win. So you can't say don't do it because it's never worked here. It's worked other places. You can't say that it hasn't worked here. Like at some point, the run that we thought we were going to be on forever, like, oh my God, this run's going to last for 7 and 8 years, and this, that, and the third. Well, guess what? Your offensive coordinator's gone, your defensive coordinator's gone, your wide receivers coach is gone, this coach is gone, that coach is gone. Now Dan Campbell has to make a decision. What type of coach is Dan Campbell without those guys? What does the system look like? What does the defense look like coming back this year? with no Aaron Glenn. Well, we know Kelvin Shepherd was on the staff, and we believe in Kelvin Shepherd as a linebackers coach and a great leader. But is he the defensive coordinator? Like, in this space you're in, it went from, they're going to win the Super Bowl, this is going to last forever, to losing to the Commanders, and everybody's starting to be like, oh, well, what's going on? And these are actual real and they're valid concerns. Yeah. So if you got a chance to get a Myles Garrett, and it works out for you, grab Myles Garrett. Because grab Myles Garrett and Aiden Hutchinson and Lee McNeil in the middle makes it that much easier for the secondary. You're going to have a good defense in the Super Bowl. This idea that we were going to win the Super Bowl with the defense we had this year is ludicrous. The idea that we were going to win the Super Bowl with 2 years ago is ludicrous. The teams that get to the dance, their defenses are stacked, 100%. Look at the Eagles. Look at Chris Jones and the Chiefs. Look at when the Rams were in it with Bobby Wagner and Von Miller and Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Yeah. You're gonna have to have a defense that can contain one of those type of quarterbacks. If it's Lamar, Josh, or probably number 15 from the Chiefs.
I agree with everything that you said, and to clarify, because I'm sure without looking, the chat is wanting to murder me right now. And I would love to have Max Crosby.
Anson does not deserve to get murdered.
I would love to have Myles Garrett. If I got to give up a first and a second rounder and swap some picks like the Chiefs did for Frank Clark, I don't have an issue with that. What I am saying is there is absolutely nothing in this regime's track record that would suggest they are willing to do this. And let me ask you this, Bray, because you could answer this better than I could even with 20 minutes on the computer. Outside of Matt Stafford, is there a multiple first-round pick trade that culminated in a Super Bowl?
No, because I think it's foreign. To answer your question, no.
I don't think that there are.
It's still relatively new territory. Matt Stafford was 2021, so it's still a relatively new territory, but you're absolutely right. As of now, I do not believe it's been 1v1 and you've gotten a deal like that. I do not believe that.
Hey, I got some more super chats that are coming in. Hot and
Von
heavy.
Miller, though, but that was during the season.
Hey, you know what?
Here's an answer.
Go ahead.
Steve Robertson, thank you, man. 30 years of first-round knockouts will be considered SOL. SOL is dead. Same old Anson. And Andre Dickerson, his first time hitting us up. Thanks, Andre. Think of it this way. We already drafted our 2 next first-rounders in J-Mo and Jack Campbell. We're not losing draft picks in that reality.
Same old Anson is what you always will get, which is consistency. And I need to see the Lions in the Super Bowl because they've never been to one out of 59. And you guys all, they won't lose in the first round next year. So, yeah, I'll say that they're SOL if they do. Fact is, this regime has changed the culture and the expectations in this city. And if we get to the playoffs and we have another 12-win season, but we don't win a Super Bowl, no one's giving up their season tickets, Bray.
Yeah.
No one's burning, except for maybe some 14-year-old kid on TikTok. Nobody's burning their jerseys with any kind of earnestness. Like, we love this team. We loved them when they were 0-16. We loved them when they were 15-2. The SOL thing is just funny to me because every year Lions fans lower the bar or raise the bar for wherever it is that they can make themselves sleep at night and tell themselves that this team is not SOL. The fastest way to SOL, in my opinion, is to take draft picks away from Dan and Brad.
What say you on the draft picks?
I'm saying that we've already reached the point of we're already there. I don't want any more. Look, if I get a Jared Verse, okay, I'll take him. You're picking at 27 or 28. I don't know if a guy like that is going to be there to impact your team for right away. Myles Garrett puts you over the top defensively. Kelvin Shepherd will come in here and he'll have his pick of the litter on how to attack the offense next year if you get a guy like Myles Garrett. Listen, Cleveland is up against it, guys. They killed themselves with the Deshaun Watson trade. They gave up 3 number 1 picks. Get 2 of those back, maybe a player in return. I don't know what it would take to get this guy to come over here, and I would give him whatever the hell he wants. It's $300 million. and make sure that you match it.
What would you give, Maz?
Whatever the going rate is.
But what would you give? What's your cutoff point? 2
first-round picks and maybe a guy like a Hendon Hooker.
And you don't think that other franchises are willing to pay more?
They might. They might. But maybe Myles Garrett don't want to go to them.
For me, it's only 3 players off limits in the trade. Like, it's only 3 players that will be off limits for me for the Detroit Lions. That's Panay, that's Amon-Ra, and that's Gibbs.
I'm with you.
Everybody else, including 97, will be on the table.
Ooh, no, not us.
You talking about Myles Garrett in his prime and still in his prime, or Aiden Hutchinson, and maybe he'll come back and be this player? This is my opinion. I take Myles Garrett. You can have Aiden Hutchinson.
You giving up Hutchinson and a pick?
No.
I want both.
No,
right?
I'm doing one. I'm doing 1v1. If that would be my Luka AD.
Okay.
I would go 1 for 1.
Interesting.
I would go 1 for 1 because you're essentially trading a guy that could have been Defensive Player of the Year, but he got hurt.
Says the Wolverine.
Hey.
Well, Aiden don't really like Michigan anyway.
You know what we missed last week? We didn't get a chance to talk about David Shaw.
Yeah.
The Lions went out and got themselves a passing game coordinator, basically picking up for Tanner Engstrand. They got David Shaw, the former Stanford head coach, obviously an assistant coach throughout the league, knows Dan Campbell real well. Matter of fact, his dad used to be a part of this staff back in the day. What's your take on that move?
I don't want to say anything disrespectful. I want to look at his resume and look at his concepts a little more. But the first thought is, what does he know about the passing game? He's always had running quarterbacks and running backs. David Shaw had 2 running backs that rushed for over 2,000 yards. Like, he had Andrew Luck, or not Andrew Luck, the following quarterback after Andrew Luck. They didn't have a passing game at Stanford, so that would be my first thought.
Well, him and John Morton work together. John Morton, your OC now, so maybe John Morton, that's his comfort level.
Okay.
You know, we really didn't hear about Tanner Engstrand, right? Him and Ben Johnson were together, but now they're split up because Tanner is in New York and Ben is in Chicago. So Aaron Glenn and Tanner were, I guess, buddy, because that's the way it shook out. So you don't really know. I don't even know what a passing game coordinator really does, to tell you the truth.
Is he the OC in the Jets, or he's the passing game coordinator with the Jets?
No, he's the OC.
Yeah, that's a better move.
Yeah.
Like, that's a much better move. If you go to the Chicago Bears, Maz, you're only OC by name and title. It's really Ben Johnson. Same as if you play for Sean Payton, or same as if you Sean McVay. If you go to the Jets, like, this is going to be his offense. He'll work this out with Aaron Rodgers, and this will be his imprint, which gets you hired.
Yep.
You know, you OC by just title, you're not going to become a head coach that way. Like, this is his team, so that's probably why he made that move.
Yeah, and the Jets also signed Steve Wilkes. We didn't mention that last
Steve Wilkes
week.
is a hell of a defensive coordinator.
He's a defensive coordinator. He used to be the head coach over in Arizona. Probably didn't get a fair shake over there. But now Aaron Glenn's putting together a heck of a staff over there.
Arizona looked a lot different without Steve
In
Wilkes.
Dan and Brad, we trust. Everybody had a hard time with the whole flight of former player coaches that they brought in when they first got here. We know how that's worked out. I have paid very little attention to the coaching carousel because I know that our guys are going to get it right.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I know that they get it right. Eventually, I'm praying that they get it right. I think 2 things can be true. When you went after just throwing a lot of money at people for the Lions, it didn't work. When, you know what I'm saying, it didn't fully work. It worked a little bit, it didn't fully work. When you went the draft route, as we're doing now, got close, but it didn't fully work. At some point, you can integrate the 2, and it's called learning. You know, Brad Holmes has been here. This is now his fifth draft. This would be 21, 22. Yeah, this would be his 5th draft. So I think it looks different. I think this would be his 4th off season, if you will. They'll make some moves and it changes. Like, your whole slate of what you are, it evolves over time. So we'll see.
Hey, Steve Robertson, another $10 to the chat. Defending Anson. In all fairness, Anson has agreed. It's not the same old Lions culture. All love here, my friend.
Yeah, and I've said that, man. It is absolutely brand new that we can expect the kind of competition and excellence that we've come to expect from this team. Expectations are high for the first time in 92 they were pretty high as well. But no, another compliment. I might bring out another Braylon Edwards rookie card for him to sign, because I was about to bring it out. And then he had to call me out for being same old Anson, which I always will be, my friend.
Same old Anson. All right, well, we'll be the same old Woodward, man. We'll take a quick commercial break, pay some bills, and when we come back, we'll dive into, maybe
We got some more
I'll
football.
I'll let Maz decide where we want to go. But first, let's get a message in from Dr. Pierce, our injury insider.
Yes, sir. Attention, sports fan. Do not miss our expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Joins us every Tuesday on Big D Energy. Joins us here on Thursdays. Trust the guy at DMAC and Braylon Trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce here in the game to keep you performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won.
David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Tangerine Space Machine is an easy drinking IPA with the out-of-this-world flavor. I love IPAs. Smooth and juicy with the refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon with Tangerine Space Machine. Grab yourself a can of this intergalactic hazy goodness, the official beer of outer space. That's right, the official beer of NASA. Brewed by New Holland Brewing Company in Holland, Michigan. Drink responsibly.
Welcome back. It is a Tuesday. Ermanni and Edwards, and of course our friend Maz. We are live on Twitch today if you want to check us out. Otherwise, of course, you can follow us at youtube.com/Woodward Sports. Keep those super chats coming in. I'm going to pull out a Braylon Edwards rookie card, have my man sign it. And once again, we will do whoever has the highest total in super chats. You are getting that Braylon Edwards rookie card. Signed by Mr. Braylon Edwards, looking damn fine in green and white today, my friend.
My apologies. I was back there with the guys in the back. Shout out to the fellas in the back.
Shooting hoops back there? Nice. He was shooting hoops back there. I saw what they were doing.
Glad you were back there.
We were conversating, talking about the Aiden Hutchinson, Myles Garrett conversation. It was legit.
Do a show back there.
Maz, kiss my butt. Like 100%. It's your show anyway now. Go ahead, Maz.
All right, buddy. Welcome back in, Bray.
Real quick, you know who else was looking really good? Because I just want to hear what the chat has to say, Onijah Robinson in Pakistan is looking really good. Got some new clothes today. Got a big stack of bills. If you guys are not following this story, it is the best story of a young 2025. Still not looking as good as you in that green and white, though, man. I got to be honest.
Nothing. So go ahead, man.
Onijah Robinson. Onijah Robinson.
It's Super Bowl week, guys. New Orleans is packed again. By the way,
it in.
Side note, President Trump will be the first sitting president in history to go to a Super Bowl game. He has decided today that he will go and watch Super Bowl 59. So that adds another layer of whatever it's going to happen.
Make
in New
Super
Orleans.
Bowls great again, bro.
It's the first time a president has gone, a sitting president.
That's crazy.
Let me ask you this: Is there a chance that there's booing of the national anthem?
I hope not. It's happening in Canada.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be just
gonna
Americans
happen
at the
here,
game.
though. It won't happen here.
Based on what?
The United States?
You're surrounded by a bunch of football fans on your own in another country, and you're going to be booing the national anthem?
I'm just simply saying we have never seen the national anthem. I mean, boo, period. And now this is a good question. I can ask the question.
No, I'm just saying you gotta be a serious man's man to go to the Super Bowl in the United States and boo the national anthem.
But you also know that this is probably the one event that you can get away with.
Maybe,
like, because people at that level, they're not gonna waste $2,000 whooping your ass.
Does Trump get booed or cheered?
I think cheered.
Yeah, cheered.
I think cheered.
I think if you would have asked that back when like the kneeling scandal was going on with Kaepernick, I think people would have been booing.
All right, 100%.
Yeah, yesterday was the first day that the media got to speak to the teams. It was Super Bowl Monday. It's media day. First guy, of course, everyone runs to is
Saquon.
A guy that should be the MVP, really, if it wasn't a quarterback's thing. It's Saquon Barkley. And why did you pick the Eagles when you left us high and dry in Jersey?
Yeah, I mean, me and my family literally, had a sheet and did pros and cons. And the only con about Philly was I might get some slack because I played in New York. So it was a no-brainer for me. The talent that we have here, the going against those guys, just hearing stories about the organization, and then most importantly, the big boys up front.
I'll tell you what, man. Joe Shane should get, I don't know what the people of Philadelphia can send this guy as a thank you, but he should get the biggest thank you present ever from a team. I've never seen one player make a team this much better, because that was a team that was ready to go down, Bray. They were ready to go down. Off that Super Bowl, they had a down year the way they finished that year. You saw Jalen Hurts sitting on the bench with his, hat down, his helmet down. They looked like they were down and out. Nick Sirianni, they had to get a vote of confidence from Jeffrey Lurie, the owner, to bring him back, and it worked.
Yeah, this is an easy no-brainer. Look, Saquon went to Penn State. Like, he's from Pennsylvania in terms of that, right? That's where the story of Saquon really, really, really was born. Goes to the Giants, and now he has a chance to go to a team in Pennsylvania. And, oh, by the way, statistically, ladies and gentlemen, they have the best offensive line in football.
Yeah.
What am I thinking about?
No, it's a fact.
What am I thinking about? Yeah, it was great. And the team needed Saquon, and not just in the sense of the skills or the reverse backwards jump and the sauce and the style and the flair in which he plays with. They needed his energy. They needed his leadership. They needed his light. I'm not trying to make it like we're in church, but he's a great human being. He's a great person. When you get a star that exudes that and that comes every day to practice, to play, and he's doing the necessary things, you start to look around as a person that's making $30 million, $20 million, whatever it is. Like, if this guy who is clearly the face of our franchise can come here just like that, and we see his invigoration to play on the team that we already play for, maybe we got to take a different look at where we're at. Maybe this could be something special. And I think that energy alone, man, like, it guided these guys, and you were able to count on him week after week after week. They needed Saquon much more than he needed them.
Yeah, we still haven't been able to quite pinpoint what the dysfunction was for that team when they were, like 9-1 or something, and then they just basically
2 years before. Yeah,
2023.
Yeah,
they just basically failed that whole second half of the season. They needed an injection, not just of ability on the field, but like you said, somebody in the clubhouse. This is my favorite player in the NFL since Ed Reed called it quits. This kid has done everything the right way
like that.
since he left Penn State, since he was at Penn State. Says all the right things, does all the right things.
Good guy.
Just a really fantastic human being.
Yep.
And I will say Philly doesn't deserve him, but they got to love having him.
He just got engaged, too.
I think also, too, like with Saquon, it's like Jalen Hurts, look, we know the story, we know the X's and O's. He's a leader in a way, but he's not a leader in a way. Jalen Hurts needed Saquon Barkley. Like, Jalen Hurts is a leader in a way. He's a great guy. You know, he's dialed in. He doesn't make waves. Like, he's going to do his job and his responsibility. But at the same time, there's moments in the game where you're like, all right, Jalen, like, what are you going to do? All right, Jalen, you make these plays. You see games that they lose, and you're like, how could you done that? I think with Saquon, he takes some of that pressure. Actually, he takes a lot of that pressure off of Jalen. It reminds me of Zeke and Dak in the beginning. It reminds me of Zeke and Dak in the beginning. Dak was Dak. You know, very similar.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what. Well, you can put your money on an MVP. I believe it's on Saquon Barkley in this Super Bowl. Here's he speaking about the team he's got to beat, the Kansas City defense.
Yeah, I mean, just right now you're watching film on them and, you know, try to get an understanding of how they're going to attack you and their scheme, and which is, you know, super hard. They're a great defense. You know, it's not a mistake that they're in this game. I don't think they let a 100-yard rusher all year besides Lamar. So we know it's going to be a tough challenge, but, you know, a challenge that, you know, we're ready to go against.
Bray, you've seen what he's done in the playoffs so far. In 2 games, he's dominated twice. Again, he went against Washington. All right, this is against Kansas City. What do you expect worse from him, and what's his ceiling in this game?
All right, Saquon Barkley's not going to have more than 78 yards in this game. Like,
really?
They are going to make Jalen Hurts beat them. Like, the plan from Spags will be, Saquon, we're not letting you get more than 75 yards. We will keep you in. We're going to make Jalen Hurts beat us. Jalen Hurts has not proven that he is the quarterback that can beat this team, especially on this stage. He had a great Super Bowl last time. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes with the exception of the moments that mattered. And Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid were able to cook up those routes with Rashee Rice, you know, the ins and out. But they're going to force Jalen Hurts to beat them. And I just don't think Saquon can get the yards he needs in that element. Because I think, you know, if they win, it's not going to be Saquon that has a hell of a game if they win. Contrary to popular belief, it'll be Jalen Hurts. And that's what they're banking on, and I think that's where Spags is going to go. Don't forget who Steve Spagnuolo has been in the Super Bowl, in the playoffs in the last 5-6 years.
Going for his 5th Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I like what you're saying. I just think that the only way that Philly wins is if Saquon does have a big game.
Which lets you know where I'm siding.
Yeah, well, and I think that this is KC's win. I think this is the NFL's win. They want a three-peat champion for the first time in Super Bowl history. So I don't see Philly winning. However, Saquon's a magician, and if he gets loose and you see a big play, especially in the first quarter or second quarter where he goes off for a 62-yard touchdown, everything that the Chiefs game plan for and scheme for doesn't necessarily go out the door, but they're on their heels all of a sudden. Opens up the game for Hurts. To me, I agree. I don't think that, you know, if you guys have been playing your survivor pools, hopefully you didn't save Saquon for this last game. Hopefully you played him one of the last 2 weeks, because it's going to be a tough game. These are 2 fantastic defenses. I'm taking the under. I don't even know where it's at.
48.5.
Taking the under. Taking the under on that. And I do think that the only way that Philly wins is if Saquon gets loose. I don't think that there's enough that Hurts can do in a tight game because of offensive holding and because of other yellow flags on the field courtesy of the red and white zebras.
Listen to me. Philly, their offensive line can neutralize Kansas City.
Listen.
They can. Lane Johnson.
Okay.
Equalize,
Lane
not
Johnson.
neutralize.
Thank you.
You asked about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Here's Lane Johnson on his quarterback.
I think his work ethic, you know, what he does in the weight room, film room, and then I think how he handles criticism and adversity. I think he has great poise, and that's probably his best trait, and that bleeds into everybody else.
Yeah, that offensive line is great. That offensive line, I can say nothing negative about Lane Johnson. Statistically, Lane Johnson had a better season than Penei Sewell. He gave up no tackles and actually no pressures either, which is even crazier. With that being said, they don't pass the ball a lot. Like this season was not a passing season from Jalen Hurts, so they didn't have to protect. They didn't have to stand there and go against the defensive line in the ways that the Kansas City Chiefs and how they're going to have to pass. You got George Karlaftis, you have Chris Jones, you have Nick Bolton who can go sideline to sideline. This is a different team that they've gone against, and they'll be in different situations. Like, no, they won't neutralize them. It will be a good game because their offensive line, especially left tackle as well, I can't think of his name, but I want to say, let me not mess that up. With that being said, this is going to put the offensive line in a situation like what can they do with Jalen Hurts back there, quarterback? Because I think Devontae Smith will be the guy that'll be the unsung hero for the Philly. If they make some noise, if they're able to start to have to jump into cover two and open it up a little bit for Saquon Barkley, it'll be because of Devontae Smith, because A.J. Brown and McDuffie are going to be going at it.
Yeah, I feel like
all game long.
Going to be all over Saquon. I'm with you. I think Saquon maybe gets 70, 80 yards, but Devontae Smith is going to have a breakout. This is going to be his Super Bowl.
The tight end's been great as well.
Goddard. Oh, yeah, Goddard got off.
Great.
Yeah.
Can I add one
Please,
wrinkle to it?
please.
Because I really think that you guys are all making very, very good points about how the Eagles are going to win. Let me just add that I think that Jalen Hurts doing Jalen Hurts things, being able to control the whole tone of am I going to run, am I going to throw, him controlling that whole line of scrimmage when he gets the ball on the hike is the key, I think, for them to win the game. If Jalen Hurts can do Jalen Hurts things, be who he is, and tush push aside, I'm talking about the guy who drops back. He's waiting, and then all of a sudden he takes off for the first down when it's 3rd and 6, and he gets the first down. That's the kind of Jalen Hurts I'm talking about, the one who's in control. He knows when to pass, when to run. He controls. He has the ball every snap. He's the one I'm going to like, guys.
Rookie year, Jalen.
You're absolutely correct, but it's second year Jalen. Second year Jalen. But it's easy to control when your defense is doing their things and they're not playing against a quarterback whose last name is Patrick Mahomes. Now you get into dicey situations, and that control that you thought you have tends to go out the window. One more commercial break. We'll jump this, and then we'll come back and wrap the show up. Let's get a message in from, I want to say, is it Planet?
It's actually Soroki's, my friend.
Oh, Soroki's. Well, I knew it was one of my reads.
Playing on the back end.
Signature Wings. And this is perfect timing for the Super Bowl. We're sitting here talking about the big game, as they call it. It is this Sunday. You need to put your order in now. Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza with the real fans' favorite. Limited time only, the Signature Wings. You need to just do a blowout. You need to get the wings, the crispy chicken. You need to get the pizza. You get the honey biscuits. Get it all, because you're going to need it for the big game. I don't care that your team isn't in it. It's still the Super Bowl. It is still the Super Bowl. It is still the most watched event every year in the U.S. So get some of these wings. Get you some of this chicken, some of this pizza, and enjoy it, because Soroki's is what it for real fans' favorite.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. With over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, this is a gym for you. It's squeaky clean, it's cool, it's a vibe, and at the end of the day, there's no judgment. So come on down to Planet Fitness, because your fitness is essential at the end of the day. And also, they're not hitting you over here with crazy prices. It's fitness that fits into your budget. So you see behind me, you see on the screen, come down to Planet Fitness. It's the real thing.
Show them the guns, Bray.
You don't got to see all that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm chill today. I'm chill, Bray. Plus, I'm tired, man. I had a long workout this morning. So shout out to Planet Fitness, because they will get you right. Tom Mazaway.
Yes, sir. Continuing on Super Bowl Media Day, we gave you the Philly side. Now it's time for the world champions. Going for a three-peat, by the way. The NFL, believe it or not, made a deal with, you know who, Pat Riley, to use the word three-peat.
Oh,
you believe that?
Paid, baby.
Pat Riley had three-peat.
Oh, of course, yeah, 100%.
Spectacular.
But not just no. Did you see? It's not just three-peat. There's like 7 or 8 variations of three-peat that he owns all of.
I love Pat Riley. Oh my God.
He's got 1, 2.
That is so funny.
He's got 2 or 3. 1, 2. He's got 2.
So that kind of gives you a hint, though, where the NFL wants to go. I can tell you that.
He's got 1.
You think?
Yeah, you think?
Yeah,
Here's Patrick Mahomes talking about when people ask him about the greatest of all time talk.
I'm trying to be the greatest Patrick Mahomes that I can be. I mean, that's obviously a goal of anyone's, is to be the greatest of their profession. But in order to do that, you have to be the greatest that you can be every single day. And if that's on the field and the work ethic I put in, or off the field and the father and husband that I am, I'm going to try to be the greatest in that way. And whenever I'm done with football, if I leave everything out there the way that I feel like I have so far, as far as effort and mentality, I'll be happy with the results, and I'll let others talk about who the greatest is of whatever profession that is.
I feel bad for Mahomes, because Mahomes is very likable. He was very likable in the beginning of the Super Bowl runs. He's still likable now, except for the whininess on the field. I think the whininess on the field, I think people's infatuations, which rightfully so, with the refs and KC and the whole 9 yards, I feel like that at this current state, and then they don't like Taylor Swift. They don't like the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift deal. Those 3 things have directly taken him from, he was the guy. He was the darling with the...
By the way, she's got great legs.
With the Kermit voice.
Your mic's on, man. Your mic's
I know.
on.
I realize that.
I
mean, jeez.
Don't forget about his brother, too. His brother...
Hey, Jackson, 100%. His brother was annoying. Now, so I think now it's gone down a level. And Ryan was talking about it. In order to surpass Tom or whatever, it's going to be that second part. What do you do when Travis retires? What do you do? Blah, blah, blah. I think that's when people will fall in love with him again, will be the second run, if you will. People didn't like Tom Brady in the beginning.
Hey, as long as people are talking. If they're not talking, you ain't doing nothing.
He's been great, though. You cannot deny what he's done.
He's taking the Luka news hard. He was a big Dallas Mavs fan.
He's from Dallas.
Yeah, and he's taking it really hard. They asked him about that, too. I don't have it, but he was very upset about that trade. Also, they went to Travis Kelce, of course, to talk about, they've talked about T. Swift, but about his future in football.
Where will I be in 3 years? Oh man, I don't know. Hopefully, still playing football. I love doing this. I love coming into work every day, and I feel like I still got a lot of good football left in me. But we'll see what happens. I know I've been setting myself up for other opportunities in my life, and that's always been the goal. Knowing that football only lasts for so long, you got to find a way to get into another career, into another profession, and I've been doing that in my off seasons. But for the most part, I plan on being a Kansas City Chief and playing football.
By the way, those are great sweatshirts. Absolutely great sweatshirts that they're rocking. I wish I could like this guy because he's very talented, but I just don't like him. I mean, I don't know what it is about him.
Too much?
I don't know.
Too much.
Like last week in that game against the Bills, he doesn't get flagged for a personal foul at the end of that game for his dance in the end zone. He got fined this week by the NFL, for sticking it. And I forgot what player it was on the Bills, but he was given the business, as they say back in the day. Business. But I don't know. This guy just bugs the living daylights out of me.
And they're just
great player though. Jeez.
They're just winning in a different time and a different era. Like they're winning in a time where the money is just ridiculous on and off the field and different investments and things you can do. They're winning in a time where you can pick and influence yourself. Like back in the day, you had to wait for deals. It's all right, cool. Like I'm balling out, but I gotta wait for Nike to hit me up, or I gotta wait for me to be one of those guys. Back in the day, there was a couple guys only. Like now, you can set the price. You can set the deal. You can date who you want to date. I ain't who he's dating now, money wise. So, they just living and. In that, you get spoiled, you change a little bit, and become annoying to a man. Go ahead, Ricky.
How do you feel about players, like he said, that he knows football's not going to last forever, so he's got to do other ventures, but how do you feel about players that don't wait till football's actually over to do all these other ventures? Do you feel like it's a distraction? You feel like it's all right?
I don't have a problem with it, man. As long as the guy is dialing in, or as long as a female, because it could be female basketball as well, as long as you're dialing in, like as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, if I'm a teammate and I'm watching, like, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, I could care less. Like, go out and make that money. I wish I would have done more as it relates to preparing for the future. Like Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark used to stay in Bristol whenever he had like an off day, or when he had a bye week, or when he had off season. He was always in Bristol. Me, I was hanging out, I was partying. You know what I'm saying? I figured out later.
You wouldn't be here, though.
Yeah, this is true. And I love Woodward Sports. I love getting a chance to work with everybody in here. If you can dial into your professionalism and it's not affecting your work, like,
I think it affects Micah Parsons.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would think it affects the locker room. It affects the makeup of that team 100%. Revis, to give you a quick idea, Darrell Revis, when I was in New York, like did a lot of stuff, because as he should. One of the best defensive players of all time at that position. You never knew he was doing anything. He was on time. He showed up. When he was hurt, he got treatment. He practiced. He asked questions. And then on Sunday, we knew we could count on 24. If you're dialed in like that, Curtis Martin. I'm naming all Jets because I'm a Jet, but like Curtis Martin was dating Tony Braxton. Like at the time he was playing for the Jets. Curtis Martin still got you $1,500 every year. So like if you are able to do what you're supposed to and all the stuff off the field.
Was he fighting with Jason Kidd for her?
You saw what?
Was he fighting for Jason Kidd for her?
100%.
I remember that.
He won too because he doesn't beat women.
That was Martin.
Shaquille O'Neal was cutting rap albums while Kobe was in the gym.
But see, he's an outlier because it worked and it didn't at the same time. If Shaq and that's not one of those hypotheticals. Like
Shaq's like a god.
True, and he deserves that. If Shaq wanted to be, there would be no conversation on who's the greatest basketball player of all time. Like if Shaq wanted to dial in with Kobe.
So to your point,
but he got
the point that I just made is
he was buying the pizza joints. What's his pizza joint?
Oh, Papa John.
Yeah, it's Papa John's.
Yeah, they bought him on when Papa John got in trouble.
Any time that you are giving to anything else is taking away from your craft.
Yeah.
Now I'm a big believer in balance. But balance is illusory. You know, the moment that you think you have it is when it actually goes out. I do believe that athletes should have other outlets, but at the end of the day, if you are spending a full day going to the studio, prepping for your show, and then finishing that's a day not spent in the gym. So I know that guys like Shaq and others can get away with it, but at the end of the day, man, I mean, do you have the Mamba mentality?
Yeah. 100%, and there's a time and a place. That's why there's an off season. Every sport has an off season. You have loads and loads and loads of time to be able to go out and make the moves, dive into some other things, and be able to do what you want to. The off season exists for a reason.
Real quick on Travis Kelce, because you guys won't see me again until next week. What are the odds of a post-game proposal, Mass?
0.
Well, since everyone thinks it's fake. Except me.
Right.
It can still be fake.
I think it's true
There's
love.
a lot of fake marriages, my friend.
I'll put it at 5-1.
Fake.
There's got to be a sports book taking that bet somewhere. What do you think? What do you think? Prognosticating.
I'm not prognosticating. It's 0.
That's a 0.
That's
I thought you were looking down your.
That's a donut.
Your Nostradamus.
I think if he wins, yes. If they lose, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
it would be the biggest proposal ever, but the problem is she can't say yes.
Right.
Like,
she's gonna cry.
It's no.
But Ricky's right. It's going to be a post game after a win proposal.
0%
And how do you say
chance.
no to the world right there? Her stock would.
She has to.
Not a lot, but
if it's
just a
a
little
fake,
bit.
it's definitely a yes.
You said what?
If it's a fake, like you guys say, It's got to be a yes.
No, because then you got to make the excuse of why it didn't work out. So then it's going to be like later on.
So
we
you
find
think it's broken up
Breakup
then?
songs are billion-dollar babies.
That's right.
Come on.
Marriage songs don't bring
the
in
breakups. You don't have to get married or get engaged to have a breakup.
Well, for sure. But
I don't think it's going to happen.
I mean, I think it's fake whether it happens or not.
Agreed.
You guys know that. But don't sleep on the post-game three-peat proposal. That's hard to say quick.
Good show, fellas.
It was a great show. A lot of fun, man. What's going on? What's it? It's only Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Damn. That's a long week.
It's a long ass
You better
week.
get the rest of them green outfits ready.
Say less. No more green outfits this week, man. Look, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hell of a show. Thank you for tuning in each day. We appreciate you. Great work out of Ricky, Tom, Mazaway, P.
Yes, sir.
My man Anson Wells, always good to be on the desk with you. And I didn't forget you this time, KG. This is true.
and your history.
Hey, $10 for the
Yo,
jar.
we'll see y'all tomorrow, man. We out.